Welcome to the last safe city on Earth, the only place the traveler can still protect. It took centuries to build. Now, we're counting every day it stands. And this tower is where the Guardians live.
And here we are, back for part 2. So this is the Tower Plaza, and it's actually separated into a couple of areas, which eventually I'll show you as we go along. This is the Postmaster, so as you actually play the real game, you'll be able to send messages to one another and other players and things like that. Most likely you'll be able to ask players to join a clan and, you know, things of that nature. You can already start your own clan on Bungie.net, which is kind of cool. This is the Crucible Handler, which is basically the PvP section of the game, but we'll get more into that in another video. And these are your main quartermasters. So this is essentially where you will go, most likely for specific missions for, as you can see, armor, things of that nature. It went a little fast there. And as you can see, I don't basically qualify to get anything. Notice how it says Vanguard marks on the bottom there. Well, those are the Vanguard marks. The Crucible marks, on the other hand, are for Crucible or PvP type armor. So anyways, this is how you would upgrade your armor. As you see, I'm going kind of quick here because I'm so used to it by now. You can hold 9 different items of each. You can then dismantle each or disassemble each, and what that does is it actually gives you more glimmer or money. You can also go into the main hub area, which is where we were before we came into this area, in order to transfer weapons and stuff like that into your vault. Think of it sort of like a bank for you World of Warcraft or MMO fans. Okay, so coming back outside here, we're going to go visit the gunsmith, and this guy is really useful because he basically sells you for glimmer a wide assortment of different weapons, and I'm going to just stick to the auto rifle I have right now, but like you can see there's a plasma rifle and things of that nature. And what's cool with this is just common gear. It's just a white, as you can see. Later on the color will actually switch to say oh, I don't know, there'll be like a green, for example, and that's more of an uncommon or a rare type of item. And these go for everything from your weapons to your helmet to, you know, whatever. And this is very, very typical standard stuff for MMO fans, but for those that are just used to first-person shooters, you'll see that as you progress in the game, colors correspond to rarities. So obviously the gear you buy at like the regular shops isn't really going to be as good as something that you're going to find in the open world. This person right here is for your ship, and what's cool with this is you can actually eventually get additional ship blueprints, as you see below, and just a whole wide assortment of other goodies. You can even get vehicles or mounts, as they're typically called in MMOs, but you'll see that, I believe, in another video later on this week. This guy also sells some crucible weapons and emblems and a few other things of that nature. But again, they all require certain marks, so the other type of currency. Anyways, let's get out of here right now. Let's go and teleport ourselves back to the ship and then select another destination. So as you can see, this is your main hub of how you teleport. There are multiple worlds in the actual game itself, which is kind of cool. So I just went back to Earth. I'm just quickly looking over a few things before I start. As you notice, you can increase the challenge if you really want to if you really want to have a significant challenge. And this is sometimes really good to do, especially if you're in a three-man team, because a lot of these special events and whatnot were designed for 3 players. Okay, so I actually changed my mind and we're gonna head back to the tower. Now the reason I wanted to go back to the tower was because I wanted to find a few things. I was originally looking for the map, but you can only see it just on the right, which I don't show you because I'm a douche like that. There's actually a robot that's standing there and he shows you the map, and I just couldn't find him. I was looking, I was like, what the hell? Anyway, this is the bank system, so the vault where you can transfer items back and forth and what have you. Now, I'm not sure, I'm pretty sure that whatever we do in the beta isn't going to stay with us in the finished game, because that's almost always the case. The last beta I took part in, as you guys know, was the Dragon Quest X beta on PC. So I'm getting kind of used to these sorts of MMO betas here for the site. Anyways, here's the postmaster, like I said before. That was the vault over there. You can see there's a lot of them, obviously, because this is really going to be populated once the game comes up. Now, this guy up here, he sells bounties. So basically, they're challenges. You'll notice that there's 3 for the Crucible, and then there's 3 for the regular game. I was going to say single player, but it's not single player. It's PvE, player versus environment. Now I'm just taking a look around. We're going to go up around on the right hand side here just to take a look around and see what's what. There's nothing really up here per se, maybe just a secret or two, one of these little goodies like a disabled ghost or something like that, which can unlock a couple of things in the main game, I would assume, because as you see, new Grimoire card has been acquired, and those you go to bungie.net and there's just tons and tons of information, and there's like the world is scattered with all kinds of little secrets, and it's kind of cool. Speaking of which, you can download a pretty nifty Destiny companion for your phone. If you're really into the game, you can follow along your character, answer messages, join a clan, so on and so forth. So it's pretty cool. So this is me again, looking for the guy, which I'm like, where the hell? Because I thought it was a terminal, but it's actually not a terminal. So I'm like, I don't get it. What do we do? What do we do? And what I don't realize is he's actually just past that little section where I just was. But c'est la vie. Anyways, this is the guy who will decipher your cryptic items that you find, or like blueprints and whatnot, and he deciphers them for you, which is pretty cool. But that particular one I could not use, which kind of sucks, but whatever. So I'm going to now just edit the video out, because obviously you're going to get sick and tired of me running around here like a nutcase, and I'm going to just orbit back to my my ship. More like leave orbit and go back to my ship. So let's do that.
A Guardian ship was recently shot down here. If the Fallen haven't gotten to it, there might be parts we can salvage.
As you could just see there, that was actually another player. And this, now, we are in the MMO aspect of the game. So you do have your regular missions, sort of like Borderlands and whatnot, where you go around and, you know, do whatever you have to do in this massive open world, except that there's, you know, tons and tons and tons of people playing alongside, well, playing alongside you. So, here we go. I'm going to engage in battle. And I'm not sure if it's this particular video or not, but what's kind of neat is, let's say I'm on a mission, like I am right now, right? I'm supposed to go to this thing and activate it. And let's say there was another player here who just decided, you know what, I'm going to help out this dude Elder because he's cool. And if he does help me out, let's say there's a world boss that pops up. They call it, I forget, something like world events or something like that. If we both take part in that and we complete it, we both get our own loot, we both get a whole bunch of experience, and that's it. So there's no loot rolling here, there's none of that jazz. It's just a very seamless, integrated system that allows you to just keep going on your own way. You happen to see someone there, like out in the world, that needs help, and you can just go ahead and help them out. Now I know there are a lot of modern MMOs that do this, but for a first-person shooter like this, it's kind of cool to see, well, just to see. I know I'm going to get a question from someone asking, well, hey, do you have to collect any, you know, items, for example, or kill X amount of enemies and whatnot? And the truth is, yes, you do. Because, like all MMOs, there are, you know, these sort of fetch quests. The difference here, at least in the beta, is those are all optional quests. Those are quests if you need to sort of, well, at least what I'm assuming is grinding because your level's a little low. Under no circumstances did I ever have to do that. And really, it basically gave you no experience whatsoever. So I just stuck with the main missions, and then later on towards the end of the beta, because there's only a couple of actual main missions that they show you, and then there's the PvP stuff, and you can only get to level 8. So already I'm near level 3, as you can see. So yeah, we're pretty much halfway done the beta already, and we just started. So I had no real need of going and doing those little tiny side, whatever you want to call them, side quests or whatnot. I saw how to activate them, and when I was playing with my brother, we did tackle one or two of them, but we were both like, okay, this is boring, and there's like no real need because we weren't getting weapons, we weren't really getting anything whatsoever. Now, this is me going to make an epic noob mistake here. I saw that loot crate up above, and I was like, ooh, I can probably just easily jump there. And you know what? I probably could, but because it's me, and I don't believe I had the secondary jump at this point in time, I'm like, ah, screw it. At first, I couldn't see where that guy was shooting me from, but watching the video now, I'm like, oh, there he was. Anyways, okay, so this is a really simple mission. All we got to do is essentially get this warp drive. So we want to go and find this ship. So there's a loot crate. Woohoo! And it's a pair of gauntlets. So let's see. All right, they're better. Let's do that. Equip that for sure.
Scanning for the warp
and
drive.
There's not too much more to this mission, to be honest. We're just going to go around this little area, fight a couple more baddies. And I believe we face our first boss. Well, there was a boss in the last video, so I think this boss is our second boss, but whatever. Okay, so you see here, respawning is not allowed. Well, that's actually BS, because what happens is, if I die and I'm playing alone, then yes, I have to redo this entire area. But let's say there was, oh, I don't know, a team of 2 or 3 that I was in, and one of us died, the other player well, other players, could actually, in fact, resurrect the other players. And so long as the rest of the team, or at least one Guardian, is still alive, after 25 seconds, you can respawn yourself. So what they're basically just saying is that don't screw around, because it's still very easy to get killed here. So this is pretty much it. Watch the big hole in the wall after. You're going to see some nice big huge guy jumping down. And look at my awesome skills here. Can't aim for crap. But this is pretty much it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to wrap this up, finish this mission off, and that'll be it. Call this a day for right now. Showed you guys the tower, which was pretty cool. And the next video, we're going to go back to the tower, because if I'm not mistaken, this guy is going to drop a piece of loot that I need to get decrypted. And even if he doesn't do that, we're going to go back to the tower anyways, because we want to get our reward for completing the mission. And now this, I can imagine, is going to be the sort of standard way the game is going to go from here on, is that you're going to get missions at the tower and then go, you know, complete the mission and then go back, get your loot, and so on and so forth. It really does feel like an MMO, with the exception that you don't really make teams of 5, and you don't really have the tank, healer, and DPS classes as you would in a standard MMO, even though the Titan itself can take more damage than the other classes, apparently. But again, this is only up to level 8, so we don't really know what the full game is going to be like. So I'm going to just let this video finish off. There's not too much left. I'm going to say thank you very much for watching, as always. I hope you're enjoying this look at the Destiny beta, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
You just killed an Archon. This could cripple the Fallen. And we got a warp drive. I have to get you to the speaker.
Do